We are back here at the Point Guardian. It's week 1 of spring quarter. We're all already defeated.
Yeah, Miguel's not even here.
Miguel's not even here. He's gonna come later today.
It's week 1.
It's week 1, yeah.
Oh, it's week 1.
I am Marcus. I'm the managing editor.
I'm Alex, I guess.
He guesses.
I'm
Yeah.
Richard.
He's the real sports editor.
No, I'm the associate sports editor.
And we have Miguel. Is
There's
that
an
Miguel?
intruder.
Is that Miguel?
Well, we're here with Hojun, our producer. We've been out for like a good month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot has happened, but like the 2 races for the playoffs is still basically the same. We can go over a little bit what happened during just March Madness just really quickly. All the good players that were going to go to the NBA like basically lost in the first round.
Hell yeah.
So you had a couple players advance, and that was basically it. So it wasn't really good. Like if you're an NBA fan, it wasn't really a good March Madness, basically.
Was it Arizona that lost? They
Yeah,
lost in the
Arizona
first
lost in
round?
the first round,
Who'd
and
they
then you
have?
had, I mean, Duke lost pretty early, relatively. Michigan State lost pretty early,
Hell yeah.
and it was just. Anyways, we can move on. From
I
that.
love Loyola Chicago.
nobody
I was
cares.
heartbroken when they lost in the final four.
The best player in the Final Four is gonna go like 14th in the draft. It's just
Yeah.
it's not worth it to talk about it. Miguel joined us.
Hello.
Yes, and we're gonna go directly into what it's shaping up to be a pretty good race for the playoffs, at least in the West, because right now the East is basically just going for positioning. Let's go to the East first. So all 8 teams, because we can get over that really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
All 8 teams qualified: the Raptors, Celtics, Cavaliers, 76ers, Pacers, Heat, Wizards, and Bucks, all in that order. The Pistons are out after trading for Blake Griffin. The Hornets have been out. The Bulls are 11th for some reason. And then you go with the Knicks, the Nets, the Magic, and the Hawks. So the playoff matchups as of today on Friday would be Raptors, Bucks, Celtics, Wizards, Cavaliers, Heat, and 76ers, Pacers. But that could obviously change.
Cavs Heat would be fun to watch.
Cavs Heat is an interesting one because the Heat has been playing them really well.
Yeah, because, I mean, Spoelstra knows how to... I saw
He's just
something.
a good coach.
Yeah, I saw
and he
a
actually
video.
has talent.
We're just gonna block LeBron continuously.
Pretty
again.
much. No, like, you can watch the way that they cover LeBron. Like, it's pretty
I think they also
dope.
have like the athletes to just match up really well with the
Yeah.
Cavaliers that
Yeah.
like some of those other teams do not necessarily have.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Whiteside.
well, they have Hassan Whiteside, but they also have
That's
like
bullshit. Play me
Justice
later in
Winslow and stuff like that. Yeah,
James Johnson, too, right? Is that his name?
James Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a good amount of pretty decent players. I don't
Not
know.
Supporting cast.
And
Yeah.
Wayne Ellington.
Kelly Olynyk.
No, Olynyk is actually a pretty solid player.
Solid player.
Even though he's
but
dirty as a... He's like Zaza.
That's love right there.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not necessarily gonna go into like the matchups because they could still change until like next week.
Yeah.
But do any of those teams like? I've seen a lot of chatter about the 76ers making a run.
They can.
They definitely can if Joel
Assuming
Embiid comes
Embiid's back
back.
and healthy.
Yeah.
But they're also like on a 12-game winning streak
Yeah.
as of right now, and with Embiid out for like the past 6 or 7 games.
I mean, their team is solid. They have a bunch of shooters surrounding Ben Simmons. Right?
So the question about the Sixers is that is Ben Simmons as effective in the playoffs when defenses just collapse and literally like guard JJ Redick on the wing and nothing else happens?
we'll see.
That's a decent question because without Embiid, they don't have that like center that can actually play outside.
Maybe if Markel Fultz can make a shot.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you really banking on that? Is that like your Sixers pick? It's like
he's looking
if Markel
good, though.
Fultz after 10 games back can make a 3-pointer, maybe they can advance.
How far would the 76ers need to go for Embiid to come back? Or could he
I
go
think
back?
he might be back for the first round. Maybe not the
Okay.
first or
First
two
two
games,
probably.
but yeah.
Yeah. The
He-
question is he healthy?
Like the thing is, he's gonna wear a mask, and that's never like a good thing.
Kyrie.
Yeah, but for a big man,
Oh yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. It's like Kyrie is like, okay, he doesn't really care. He's just going at it, right? But a big man has to grab like 10 rebounds a game and just gets hits in the face
He gets
basically
slapped
all
in
the
the face.
time. And that's
Yeah.
kind of like, it's not necessarily risky, but it's more like if you're wearing a mask at that point, maybe you're like, yeah. maybe I
Do we
shouldn't.
risk it?
But he'd be up against the Pacers right now.
Miles Turner.
So
Yeah.
Miles Turner,
Yeah, that's not.
Darius Young,
Yeah,
who's still a player.
Al Jefferson.
Yeah, they don't have
Al
good.
Jefferson.
They don't have a way
So,
to answer him.
I feel like if there's any team in the or like up front that he could take a first round against,
It's the
that's
Pacers.
their best option.
Yeah.
So
Honestly,
or
their best option
Wizards, I
would be
guess
the-
maybe.
Yeah.
Nah.
No, Gortat will like hit him with his goatee or something.
I'd go against the Celtics. I think the Celtics would be the best matchup. If you're
Oh,
just
yeah.
considering that. You
Yeah.
have Al Horford, but Al Horford has never been like a puncher.
Aaron Baines.
But they're not gonna.
Eh.
You know, Baines is a monster, man.
Baines
Yeah,
is
but
gonna
okay,
destroy someone.
So the Celtics are playing like their first lineup. They trot out Horford and Baines playing
Yeah.
together. So he
Oof.
wouldn't be playing against Saric. Would be matched up with Baines. I don't think that would be a problem. But anyways,
Really?
they're probably not going to play the Celtics
I feel like
anyways.
Horford would. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't.
Horford wouldn't
Yeah.
Horford guard Saric because Baines is slower than. Never mind.
I think Horford just plays the 5 in that
Fair enough.
defense. Does anything else point out? I mean, the Wizards is interesting. Had a game yesterday that they completely blew against the Cavaliers.
They
John
blew
Wall
it?
It was
trying to be
an
LeBron.
interesting. Yeah, it was an interesting like. What do the Wizards do with John Wall?
Oh, wait, you guys watched it?
I watched
I
it.
saw like the last minute. That's all.
yeah,
Wait, how was
they were up by 15 with like 5 minutes left, and they lost the game in regulation.
like
It was bad.
right? Did they throw it or did like LeBron? Did someone?
They
go
did
off?
not. Well, LeBron went supernova, but also like every time. So I feel like the Wizards' offense works well when like Bradley Beal is the one like putting the ball up.
Yeah.
But then when Wall started at the end of the game, he hit like one shot that was pretty important, but
Yeah.
he still like the last 2 possessions were like a step back, like
ISO
jumper.
15-footer.
Yeah,
That
that,
sounds
just just rocked the rim and just went out. And then the last one was like he passed the ball out, but it was literally a Cavalier guy. Like I think it was Seti Osman. He was like in the middle of the
Yeah, I
passing
saw.
lane, and I was just
Hell
like,
yeah.
what did he do?
That's
So it's
bad.
like he takes the ball up, and he's like this old. He's not like an old school point guard, but he's the guy that just like keeps the ball in his hand for like 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, dribbles.
like he's the player Chris Paul was like 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
ISO.
In that sense, not necessarily like their playing styles were not like necessarily the same, but like most point guards except for like Russell Westbrook now they just pass the ball, they make the offense function. But he takes like 2 pick and rolls, and then Bradley Beal gets the ball with like 8 seconds left, and there's just nothing happening
Yeah,
with that
yeah.
offense. I don't know if it's like John Wall's fault that he just keeps the ball and goes, or if it's like Scott Brooks that just doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
But I'd be
Probably
like
both.
concerned.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's both. But it's just so frustrating because they were legit just dominating the game, and then suddenly John Wall gets the ball, and you're like, okay, like he's like probably the best player on that team, maybe like the second best player. He should be good, and then he just blows the game for them.
it's the problem with hero ball.
Yeah. But if they match up with the Celtics in the first round, that's gonna be
Pretty easy.
I don't know.
Without Kyrie,
Pretty easy for the
I think-
Celtics.
I don't think it'd be easy, but there's definitely like some bad blood between those two teams.
I can see it going to Game 6 with the Celtics winning.
without Kyrie, yeah. I
Even
can
without
see so.
Kyrie.
I mean, the Celtics have home court advantage. Not that it really matters, but
it's just
I could see 6
yeah. I mean,
or
Terry Rozier.
maybe even 5.
Yeah,
I,
mean,
would
it's
kind of
possible.
want to. Okay,
Go Wizards.
It's not gonna be a sweep. It's not gonna be a sweep without Kyrie,
no.
but
I mean, would it
The
have been a
Celtics
sweep
can
win?
still win
Yeah.
that series,
I can-
though.
yeah.
It's
I-
not like a
no,
foregone
no,
conclusion.
Not guaranteed, but there's a likelihood of a sweep if
But
Kyrie were back.
yeah.
Hmm.
If the Wizards do somehow lock down defensively as well, they have a go-to scorer in Beal.
Well, see, they're not going to lock in defensively. No, like they're
That's
not.
the problem.
Like they're literally not. But the issue, even in spite of that, the issue with the Celtics is that they have trouble scoring sometimes. For like
Yeah.
they just can't score. Like they had a 76-point game against the Raptors or something like
Yeah.
that recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also like how many points would the Cavaliers score if both Kevin Love and LeBron James were out
Versus who?
10.
versus anyone? Just in general, like
Jordan Clarkson would get like
they
10.
might have. Good for him.
He'd get his 10.
Like they might have a game where they just don't score. I think the Celtics is like without Gordon Hayward was like a 23 to 24 point scorer last season.
Definitely.
Like that's definitely not something you can be like, regardless of how good Tatum and like Jaylen Brown, all these other guys were this season. It's just
Still
like,
that first season.
Terry
yeah.
Rozier,
yeah,
though.
their offense is just not good enough because they just don't have enough talent compared to
man.
those. And they're still a 2 seed in the East. Like you look at all the teams below, they have like at least one go-to guy. and now the Celtics have none basically.
All
So-
they need is Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's all they need.
Alright.
So just really quickly, so the Wizards and the Bucks can still change positions, and you would have the Bucks against the Celtics and the Wizards against the Raptors. I would like that better actually, because I just want the Wizards to be eliminated. I do not. The Wizards are like the one team that I care the least about in the East.
In a Celtics Bucks thing, who would you think would win? Because the Bucks haven't gone.
They can stop
the Bucks have
Giannis.
been
Much
so
better.
bad.
They can stop Giannis.
They could stop Giannis, right?
They'll shut down Giannis.
It'd be interesting.
But I think it'll be a closer series than Wizards.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
who else? Do
yes,
Maybe
I think.
who else do the Bucks have other than
Jabari Parker.
Chris Middleton, Jabari Parker. That's basically it.
Bledsoe.
Bledsoe.
All right.
Remember
Yeah.
that?
I honestly
Thon Maker.
Oh god.
like the Celtics have a pretty long lineup,
Oh yeah, their lineup is built for defense.
Yeah.
Period.
and so
Their lineup, when fully healthy, is built to beat the Cavaliers.
yeah.
But no one is healthy right now. That's the problem. That's also the problem with these playoffs in the East, especially. It's like whoever comes out of that 2-7 matchup gets the Cavaliers in the second round,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Cavaliers basically are just gonna walk into the conference finals again,
The Cavs.
just cause.
Unless
like,
Olnick
yeah.
pulls something on.
No.
Love.
Love.
oh
again.
right, because they might play the Heat, but I still think Cavaliers.
The
will win.
Cavs look good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to my friend about this, and I think that they're better this year than they were last year.
I think they're deeper. I wouldn't say they're better.
Well, yeah. My argument was that they were deeper.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
so bad on defense.
well, that's just any LeBron James team that isn't coached
Yeah, but
by.
like how
Holter?
are you
Yeah.
gonna how are you gonna compare what they do this season to last season? This is basically how they fare in the NBA finals if they get there, right?
That's true.
They're gonna get blown out by whatever team. If it's like the Warriors or Rockets, they're just gonna get blown out.
That's true.
Wait,
But
how
they
have the Cavs been doing without Tyronn Lue?
They're
He's
fine.
back.
I mean,
So.
they were
He's back.
He's back
Okay.
now. I think they're
When did
doing
that
better
happen?
since Kevin Love came
Last
back.
game.
Okay.
Yeah, since Love came back, weren't they like 10-1 or something like that?
Mm,
They got
in
blown
their
out.
last 10 games.
They lost-
They're 9-1. Yeah,
They lost by 18 to the Heat,
Uh-huh.
but then from then they've like won most. Of
they
the
won
games.
5 in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they'll be fine in the East. Like I still don't see the Raptors really challenging them.
They're gonna choke.
Mm.
Like DeRozan, I think DeRozan scored under 15 the past few
That
games.
Reggie Miller.
No, like
The
they
Raptors might lose in the first round.
it's
honestly.
very likely. they always
Honestly, like all
disappear.
these teams, like so Raptors, Celtics, and then 76ers.
Raptors Bucks.
might
first
all-
round.
Yeah, you never know.
I could
Like
see it.
Giannis can win 3 games for the Bucks. I can see that happening. I can see Laurie go like 4 for 15 and DeRozan go 3 for 10.
Yes,
Like
From
that's a
three-point
thing
line
that
or
can
from two?
happen.
it's a very.
They have a really
possible
good second
reality.
unit though, so that's the only thing where you're like,
Fred
okay,
VanVleet.
even if DeRozan and Lowry like kind of fuck up, they should be fine.
Mhm.
But you're still like all these teams could lose in the first round, whereas
The
are
Cavs.
good. Are you gonna switch to the Western Conference? Because I'm done with.
I
the
think we
Eastern
can move
Conference.
on.
I'm
Yeah.
done. Yeah.
Unless you want to add anything, Alex.
I don't know. Go Raptors.
Yeah.
Go 76ers.
We'll see
Fuck
what
everyone
happens for the. We'll see what happens for the matchups next week, and then we can actually like dive into it a little bit further.
Yeah.
Yes. Western Conference.
Wow, it's April already. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah.
Shh, don't talk about
Yeah, the
it.
playoffs start next week.
my
It's
God.
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, so eliminated of playoffs contention are the Lakers, Kings, Mavericks, Grizzlies, and Suns. Should we like in memoriam of the Lakers season?
Hey,
We had a successful season.
I said
No.
at the beginning of the season, if they hit 30 or more wins, it's a successful season.
Yeah.
So they
I
hit.
think it's a good season,
Yeah.
especially considering how many injuries they've
oh
had.
my lord.
Yeah.
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 How many injuries everyone's had this season?
No, that's true. That's true. But it's like
yeah. The
if you
Lakers
told
play
me
well.
if you told me before the season that missing Ingram and Lonzo Ball during the season they would still get like 34, 35 wins, that'd be a good season.
yeah.
Yeah. We had a really good.
It's mostly
season.
because Kuzma is actually a good player.
Yeah.
But I'm still.
Hey, he is. You know.
Yeah.
No love for Walton coaching.
I'm
He's
back
a
on the
good
Yeah.
coach.
I'm back on the Kuz train, but I'm also on the Randall train.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
They can play together.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
But can they play with Paul George?
Who's
Let's not talk about the
who's
Lakers.
going to be the new six man next year? Is it
Paul George?
$25 million like contract for a 6-man spot.
Lord. All right.
Wait, is that Lil Deng?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh
let's
yeah, they
just
get out of that contract.
let's
next
just talk
season.
about the
It's gonna be
playoffs.
interesting.
Okay.
playoffs? What's that?
I don't know.
So you still have 10 teams basically vying for 8 spots.
Yeah.
I mean, no, like the top teams are qualified, obviously.
Yeah.
But so 10 teams are Rockets and Warriors. They're 1 and 2. They're solidly 1 and 2. That's not
Mhm.
going to change. And then after that, you have the Trailblazers. They have 48 wins. The Jazz 46, Spurs 45, Thunder 45, Pelicans 44, Timberwolves 44. Nuggets at the 9th spot also have 44 wins, and then the Clippers are 42.
And
which
unless
is-
both the Timberwolves and Nuggets just bomb
Yeah,
the
I
next
think
few
they're like
games,
they're like
pretty much out.
mathematically they're not eliminated, but they're basically out. So let's just focus on that top 9.
I just want
Um,
to say, as someone who hasn't looked at these standings in like a couple of weeks, seeing Portland as the
At the
only
3.
other team that has clinched a spot
Yeah,
is really confusing to me.
yeah.
Portland's playing well.
Yeah.
They
Dame done.
Dame
Lillard
got
has
injured
just
against the-
been.
He
And I
got
guess
injured
Utah
against
has
the
shot
Mavs.
up.
He has an ankle injury, right? Two games.
I don't think
ago?
it's that bad
no,
though.
but he's sitting out for now. No,
Yeah,
he'll
I
be
mean
okay.
they have what 3 games left.
He'll be
Like
alright.
they could just sit him out for a
He
week
should
or
be
so,
fine. Yeah.
But
which is what Warriors should have done. But
it's crazy.
We'll get back to that
Yeah.
later.
It's
Um,
it's crazy to think that the Spurs might not actually make it.
I think the Spurs are making.
They're gonna make it, but there's a very real possibility.
They're just
that-
gonna get like bounced in the first round,
Yeah.
probably.
Unless
So
Kawhi
right
comes
now,
back.
the matchups, the Timberwolves and the Nuggets are gonna play once more. So that's
Ooh.
gonna be like that's basically gonna decide the 8th spot.
That's in Minnesota.
I do not know,
Hmm.
but they played yesterday and the
Yeah.
Timberwolves lost. So right now the
Yeah, they're
Timberwolves,
tied for the.
they're tied for the 8th spot, but the Timberwolves have the
Tiebreaker.
The tiebreaker. If the Pelicans lose, I don't know how the tiebreaker works, but they'd have the same. The Pelicans have one more game to play basically, and they'd have the same record.
Honestly, from just like an NBA fan standpoint, I'd want the Pelicans to lose because, okay, I love Anthony Davis,
He needs to
but
leave.
he's not going to get past anyone alone,
You'd want the Timberwolves and
especially
Nuggets
with
to
Ian
make the
Clark
playoffs.
injured
What? He got injured?
Yeah.
ankle.
Oh.
They signed Jordan Crawford.
That's why they signed Jordan Crawford. I was wondering why they signed him.
Ex-Bull Jordan Crawford. Wow.
I think he's ex-Celtic too.
Ex-Warrior.
Ugh, whatever.
He's
Oh,
ex
Lord.
everyone. Let's be honest.
He's the least popular of the two Crawfords.
Probably. What
Um,
about
Joey.
Joey Crawford?
Oh man. Okay, whatever. Let's go over some of the the storylines. So the Trailblazers at 3. Honestly, very surprising. I don't really know how they do it. I don't really know what to expect of them come the playoffs.
They're gonna beat the
I
Rockets.
could see them at 3 just because.
Mark my words.
Okay,
They're gonna beat the Rockets. I swear.
you heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was actually that was kind of like my question. It's like, are they like equipped to be one of those top 2 teams? Because that's kind of like what is important, right? It's like we're gonna look at those West playoffs in 2 ways, right? We're gonna look at who gets out of the first round,
Yeah.
and then can either of the teams that get out of the first round beat either the Rockets or the Warriors, right? And then you look at the Warriors and the Rockets playing in the conference finals. But that's kind of the thing. So can the Blazers win? Right now they'd be matched up against the Warriors in the second round. Can they beat the Warriors?
I think they're a better matchup against the Rockets.
Yeah.
But
Oh shit. There goes my prediction.
Oh,
Yeah, they'd have to play in the conference finals. They're
Because-
2 games up on the Jazz, so I think they're kind of locked into that third spot.
who's their small forward again? Is it Al Farouk or is it Evan Turner? Because Evan Turner versus KD versus Evan Turner versus Trevor Ariza, there's a big difference in
huge difference.
Yeah.
working there.
Aminu would be guarding KD
I'm still taking KD over Aminu every fucking day
no, without
for
a doubt.
like
without a doubt.
the next century.
But your bench. No, David West is back. Never mind.
David West is back, and we're hoping McCaw will stay alive, but
I mean, he's okay.
he's okay. He just got revalidated 4 weeks,
Oh, never mind.
so we don't know if he's going to be there for us. And then that means we have to rely on Caspi on our bench,
Yeah. And Quinn Cook.
who's also injured.
You guys just need Curry to
Um,
come back.
I guess we could play Sean Livingston at small forward. Or no, we have Andre, but I
Yeah.
feel like he'd be pushed up to the starting lineup at this point. But
Yeah.
Andre needs to just leave.
You guys need
I love
Draymond
him,
Green
but-
to score, to shoot,
to start scoring.
to score. Period. To make a
I
a
mean,
bucket.
Did you see that one? It's like a 40. Like he shot it from the hash mark, like Steph Curry range
He
against
splashed.
who was this? I think it was the Thunder. Yeah.
Did he hit it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's That's like
That's one shot.
that's one shot. Yeah. He
Hey,
doesn't take-
if he starts feeling it,
no, he just doesn't. He doesn't even look to score anymore, and I don't know if that's a
I don't think he
reflection
looked to
of.
score at all this season.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a reflection of his inability to score now because his three's been pretty jank, or it's just that like when he takes those threes, he's not like he doesn't have that I'm gonna make this mentality, you know, because he's like
I
What-
feel like he hasn't been taking them.
Yeah.
Which is why like he's like, okay, KD's semi-open. I think that's a better option.
yeah. But isn't he shooting like a really low percentage from three? Don't quote me on this. I don't b-ball reference anything.
I don't people reference
Reference
anything.
anything.
Love it.
Well,
I mean, I feel like that's low sample size.
fair enough.
He doesn't take a lot of shots if he's not like wide open, and then when he's wide open, he's like super cold because he's never taken a
No,
shot.
I feel it, dude. I mean, Draymond's like one of my favorite players, so
Oh yeah,
it just
you know he's one of mine.
yeah.
He is. You
Oh,
like
really?
the Warriors?
I wouldn't have
Warriors?
known. The guy wearing a jersey or a Warriors shirt.
And a hat, or was.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Okay, well, what are the matchups like?
so right now the thing is like this could change like tonight
yeah.
basically.
Well, what do you
But,
think? Like, what are your predictions for it? Marcus?
So I wanted to talk about the Jazz Spurs potential 4-5 matchup.
Yeah.
Because if the Jazz wins, they play the Rockets,
Yeah.
and suddenly that's a really interesting series.
Yes.
If Kawhi chooses to not play again,
He's not gonna play.
he's not gonna play.
So he's
But-
not like ruled out like for good.
No,
It's just-
Officially,
he's not
he's
ruled out,
healthy.
but he hasn't
Yeah.
wanted to play for like
yeah,
the last month or so.
he's not gonna play.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
Meaning, I'm going to put all my money on that Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell train.
I can see the Jazz winning the West.
That's an interesting. It's like, so there's two things, right? So they match up actually pretty well with the Rockets because regardless of how the Rockets defense plays them, either Harden has to play against Donovan Mitchell or he has to like
Dante Exum.
literally run after Rubio all
Yeah.
the time.
I mean, Rubio's scoring right now.
Yeah.
He can hit
But
shots.
also, like, you see them play. You have Rubio, like, just basically playing like Rajon Rondo, like, 10 years ago, where he's just, like, circling the offense, and, like, his
who
defense.
can actually hit like a jumper
Yeah.
outside of 10
Their
feet.
defense is
But that's the thing. Like, they match up really well with the Rockets, but at the same time, it's like they could lose against the Spurs in the first round. Like, that could legit happen. And then
That has to be some Popovich, like,
yeah.
pulling his
Yeah.
magic kind of stuff.
But also, like, the question is, like, how does Donovan Mitchell fare in the playoffs?
Well,
And that's the thing where it's like, historically, rookies have just been
true.
not necessarily that good.
Kobe
in the
with the air
playoffs.
balls.
Their
So
first season.
In both conferences, the real question is, how are the rookies going
How
to
the two
play?
rookies.
Because
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they can make or break their team. That's the thing when you're like the Sixers and the Jazz, where you're literally riding your rookie to the playoff.
True.
definitely.
Hmm.
Like,
I mean, that's like the big
Donovan
question.
Mitchell is the Jazz's version of Kyrie Irving.
I think, yeah, in a way, I think the Jazz is better off than the Sixers if Donovan Mitchell is having like a bad game.
Yes.
Just because Simmons is so like important to what
The Sixers
To what
do.
the Sixers
to
do,
what the
yeah.
Sixers do, and if
He's
the,
their
if
de
the
facto
Jazz,
point guard, in my
yeah,
opinion.
if the
Like-
Jazz doesn't have Donovan Mitchell, they still have the top defense in the league.
Yeah.
And that's still like something that, now the question is like, do they keep the game in the 90s against the Rockets, or do they get blown out and they have to play in the 110s, and then they probably lose?
So
That's the
that's
question against the Warriors too.
so it's pretty much, can they keep them under 100? If it goes over, the game's over.
105. Yeah, no, but that's true. But that's true for all these teams though. Like against the Warriors and the Rockets, like can you
Well,
keep them from scoring 110 because they're both scoring like 115 per game basically.
I feel Warriors Rockets, that would be race to 120.
Yeah, it's gonna
Both defenses are going to try their asses off.
it's gonna be like an
but
interesting series.
The offense is too good on both teams.
But I'm also like not interested in watching it. Just because it's gonna be like just shooting. I don't know.
It's gonna look like a
I'm
rec
just going to
league
bet
game.
on Andre deciding, okay, I'm going to shut down Harden again.
So the Thunder would be playing the Trailblazers, which I kind of wish those would actually change because that's gonna be a boring series.
Dame can make his mark against Westbrook.
The Thunder's just gonna be like self-implode, and I don't know.
Are the Thunder good?
No.
No,
Okay.
That was fast.
nah, they're not.
They're
They still have to figure out who's going to be their alpha.
they don't have an identity. Well,
they're like the 2006 Lakers with Kobe shooting their way out of everything that made the playoffs, or
Yeah.
was it like 2007 or something like that? Right?
Yeah.
They made the playoff that one season.
Yeah.
Like that's them, except they have two like above average players, and no, one of them is not Carmelo Anthony.
and even like it's just
It's true.
Yeah,
they
no,
have
it's-
Paul George, and Paul George has been kind of like being like, oh, whatever. He doesn't really care anymore, and then the rest
I'm
of the
going to the
team is just
Lakers.
garbage. They have Steven Adams, but that's basically it.
they need to feed him more.
They need to shut down Westbrook. Honestly, I mean, you can't do that obviously, but it's just like, I don't know.
He's
Such a frustrating player.
You shut down Westbrook and you get Paul George on the Lakers next year.
Yes.
I-
Yes. Yes.
Like, yes, please.
Tell me more.
We get Kawhi too. Is that-
Kawhi too.
I don't mean like shutting down, like taking him out of the lineup, but like having him play more. Like when the guy just starts. There was this one game, I think it was like last week. The guy's just like, there's like a minute to go. They're down by 2, and he has time for like 3 possession, maybe. You know, he just goes up the floor in 8 seconds and shoots a 3, contested 3,
Sounds like Russell
pulls up,
Westbrook.
and I'm just like,
Isn't this like what we were
Like,
like
that's how
yelling at
you-
him?
yeah, that's how you're
For
gonna
the
lose.
past, like, 7
That's
years?
how you're gonna lose every single game in these playoffs. Like just because the guy's like, I don't know.
I'm
Can
not
you, like,
arguing with here,
Can
but
you run a system for Paul George to get an open 3? Like, how's that not a thing?
I don't trust Paul George with an open 3 though. I'm playing.
So, but those positions can still change. So you have the Spurs. Let's say if the top 4 remains the same, right? You have Rockets, Warriors, Trailblazers, and Jazz.
Yes.
and then we could just talk about both the 8 and 9 spots.
Yeah, and then you have the Spurs and the Thunder have 45 wins, and then the interesting part is the Pelicans, Timberwolves, and Nuggets.
So I think the Spurs and the Thunder, like, despite
They're both gonna make it.
despite
I
just
think,
bagging on
yeah.
Westbrook, he's gonna find a way to keep them.
They're
in
gonna
the
make
playoffs.
it. Then it's like a question of if they're actually gonna be competitive in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I actually think Trailblazers have a really good chance against this Thunder team. I mean, you get any game in Portland, any close game in Portland,
Dame time.
and Dame time comes on,
But I would argue
and they
the
have
Blazers,
home court advantage.
I would argue the Blazers have like a favorable matchup against any of those teams, maybe except for the Spurs,
Yes.
just because of the coaching of
Yes.
the Spurs.
Wait,
Like,
so
if they
why are we
play the-
saying that the Thunder and the Spurs are going to get out?
No, they're gonna get into the playoffs.
They're gonna make it a playoffs.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely going to
They're
make
just
the
not going to be
playoffs.
competitive in the playoffs.
I
that's
thought you
what
were
I'm
saying they're going to get out of the first round.
No.
I was like,
No, so then it goes down to the Pelicans, Timberwolves, and Nuggets.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that Timberwolves are just gonna miss it.
There's the
They play the Nuggets again, so then the Nuggets go
I-
over them.
is Butler back yet?
No, he suited up yesterday.
Yeah, he said
He's suited up.
but he didn't
He
play.
didn't play.
He can play because this is a pivotal game,
But
and
he
knowing
shouldn't
Thibodeau.
play.
No, he shouldn't though.
It's Thibodeau.
No,
He's gonna ruin his
Thibodeau,
career.
Thibodeau was like, oh, it just depends on
I
Butler.
know.
Okay.
So, but I mean, they need Jimmy buckets.
Okay, so let's say Timberwolves make it somehow. That means we got a Rockets, Timberwolves 1-8. How's this going to play out? Assuming Jimmy Butler can play and is healthy.
Wait, so right now you don't have the Nuggets making. Oh, the Timberwolves are playing the Lakers tonight. God damn it.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And knowing the Lakers, we're
Fuck.
gonna make sure that the teams
Nah.
in the playoffs.
You don't have to pick.
Lose.
You want to
If
win
the
this.
Timberwolves
Yeah.
lose against the Lakers, they just don't deserve to make the playoffs at all.
Yeah, because the Lakers are a playoff team.
Okay, so let's
Who's
see.
gonna go for
So
34 today?
the Pelicans are down 1 game on those 2 teams, but the Pelicans play the Suns tonight, so that's a win.
That's an easy W.
So they're
Hey,
at 45.
Devin Booker made the USA team. He might be happy.
And then you have the Timberwolves and Lakers, and tomorrow you have Nuggets and Clippers. That should be a win for the Nuggets. It's not a guarantee, but it should be.
Boban Marjanovic.
That
And
no
then-
jump dunk.
The Pelicans against the Warriors. So they'd be tied at 45.
Warriors can lose it, but because Warriors don't care right now.
Yeah.
They should care because they should be getting back into shape. But
When's Curry coming back?
mid-second round.
Jesus.
Does this sound familiar? Coming back against the Blazers
And tearing it up
and then getting injured again.
and then losing. Wait, yeah, you guys won that? No, you guys
No,
lost. that.
we lost that season.
Lost that season.
This is very concerning for me.
History repeats itself.
Exactly. This is like the freaking Giants every other year thing, and I don't even watch baseball.
Hold Hold on, I'm just looking. Sorry, I'm just looking at the schedule because then you have a Sunday game.
Wait, is this a Giants year?
It hasn't been a Giants.
It hasn't been a
in,
Giants year
like,
for like the past
4
5 years.
Okay. I was like,
It's not a Giants year.
Well,
It's probably another Astros year.
So
Hold on. Let me just finish.
Okay.
Then we get the Timberwolves play the Grizzlies on Monday. Jesus, they're probably gonna win that. Oh, Portland against Denver
ooh.
Monday. That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
And then New Orleans against the Clippers. Wow, if the Clippers were still in, the Clippers are still in this.
Yeah.
If they win out, they probably are in. That's crazy. And then the last game of the season is hold on.
Lakers.
I think the last game of the season is that game between the Timberwolves and
Nuggets.
right? Oh yeah.
Damn.
Spurs Pelicans, Nuggets Timberwolves, Jazz Trailblazers.
Damn.
Oh, shit.
Adams-
That is a good. Okay, I know what I'm doing Wednesday.
That's a good. Yeah.
Damn.
That's a good last.
And then I have
day.
the Bucks and the Philadelphia 76ers on ESPN. That's a mistake.
I mean, that's still.
Um,
it's just still a good.
So Jazz and Trailblazers is the last game of the season. It's on ESPN.
Mhm.
And then right before at 8 p.m. Eastern time, you have Spurs Pelicans and Nuggets Timberwolves going on at the same time. That is gonna be. That's as close as as a winner gets in. I mean, depending on what happens.
So you
like, this
split
week.
your screen in half and watch both games at once,
Yeah,
right?
you do. You
Yeah.
have to.
You have to.
Okay.
It's like any of those teams could miss the playoffs because they lose that one game. That's cool. Okay. Anything else? Let's talk about the probably winners of the Western Conference. So either Houston or Golden State. Golden State has obviously been injured a lot, but they're all coming back pretty much, except for McCaw. Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard because Caspi, when he's healthy, he plays well, but he hasn't been healthy for the past
hope remain on
four-
Free Caspi.
Oh my God.
That means our entire bench is.
Nick Young.
I don't know what is
God.
scarier, Caspi or Nick Young.
Okay, so on the scale, if it
He's
goes
also
as
like sick
planned,
this week too.
If it goes as planned and both the Warriors and the Rockets make the conference finals, on a scale from 0 to 100, how scared are you by the Rockets? And you don't have home field advantage, obviously.
Yeah,
I'd be scared.
I think 6. Warriors in 6. I'm calling that one
Oh, ooh.
because
I think the Rockets are winning that one.
Yeah.
I think the I think
See,
the, I
I'm
think it's the
assuming that
Rockets'
Curry
year.
doesn't get injured the game he gets back again.
I think with Curry
Yeah, but
back.
when he came back in 20, sorry, I
No, no,
interrupted you.
no.
When he came back in 2016, he just wasn't the same player. Like I'd be worried about
I
that.
think that's because of multiple injuries. Like, because
He's
he
had
had that
multiple injuries
stretch.
this year.
Was it growing?
He has.
It was the
Um,
same kind of injury.
it was a groin injury the second time. He
Yeah.
slipped on. What was
Sweat
his
spot.
name? It was.
Someone.
Who was the center on the Trailblazers back then? He slipped
Trivia.
on his puddle.
Trivia.
His puddle?
He's sweating probably.
Yeah, he like the
Plumlee?
the
Plumlee?
center fell onto.
Peed
It
on
could be
the-
Plumlee. I thought it was bigger, but he just like slipped in the middle of the court,
Uh-huh.
like diving for the ball, and then Steph stepped on the wet spot, and then it was
Yeah.
semi-splits, and then he lost a step in
Yeah.
the
Okay,
Okay,
finals.
but he's also been
And
injured a lot this
Ankle,
season.
knee.
I'm not saying that to be like, oh my
But
god, but
I feel
I'd
like
be
those
worried.
injuries, if he can, like, he has enough time to get back, as long as he doesn't get injured in the second round like last time.
I can see that. Like, I mean,
Like,
I can
he'll
see
get
him-
back,
Yeah.
and he'll be much closer to full speed. Because
He
the reason we
also-
lost that finals was because, one, Draymond got suspended, and two, Steph couldn't get by Tristan Thompson.
Yeah.
Like, he'd try to pull his...
Moves. He couldn't do his moves.
He couldn't make it barbecue chicken.
Yeah. I mean, Kevin Love locked him up for God's sake.
Okay, but all right. So going back to that series, right? So he was going against Tristan Thompson, Kevin Love.
So if he's back and hasn't been injured in the playoffs, he'll be able to put a fight. And the Warriors have a history of being able to lock down Harden.
Yeah, and Harden has a history of choking in the playoffs.
That's the one thing I'm concerned about for Houston, but they also have Chris Paul now, who also has a history of choking. So you
Yeah.
know, it's
So
a whole.
two chokes
It's a
makes
mess.
I think
Didn't they cancel each
No.
other
what was
out?
the joke? Chris
Cancel
Paul.
each other out.
As of right now, JaVale McGee has more rings than Chris Paul has minutes in the Western Conference Final.
That's pretty much it.
So
Yeah.
we need to see them get to this point first. And how he's going to play it at this point. Do they have the defense to match? Because
Capella.
Capella, yes.
I think.
But Draymond is going. Draymond anchoring the defense versus Capella anchoring the defense.
Yeah.
I think the Warriors have a better defense, especially with Andre also there directing traffic.
Yeah.
My only issue is that I think Golden State is worse than last year, and I think Houston is better than last year.
Yeah.
Oh, they're better than last year, but last year they didn't even make it to the.
No, I know that, but I'm saying like they have a better defense, they have a better offense, and then Golden State has kind of been like obviously they have had injuries, but like Draymond Green hasn't necessarily been the same. Like you can still like catch fire on a series,
Yeah.
but
we don't
like,
need
I'd
him to
be-
catch fire. That's the thing. We just need him
I'm
to
honestly
lock out.
I'm honestly concerned that it's just Stephen Curry is not
Yeah,
going to be the
I'm
same.
concerned
he
about the
like he
Warriors.
said that he was not going to be 100% until the offseason. Like he said that a couple weeks ago.
Well, he said that but like he said, as long as he's on the court, that's all he cares about.
Honestly, him on the court, Klay Thompson, the way Clay plays with Curry on the court and without the court is like night and day.
Yes, just because Curry's gravity just opens up all of the lanes for
Yeah.
Clay to do his work.
Straight up, like
And he's had his whole career with Steph.
yeah,
He has these lanes and he plays as well as he does
yeah,
because the offense is so much easier with that lane, and
Yeah.
that allows him to put so much more effort on defense.
yeah, like
So with Steph's gravity, even if he's not being like
even if
the
he's
unanimous MVP Steph, he's still going to hit his shots.
Yeah.
He might be a step slower, but he's a step slower giving the ball to KD.
and people start like it's said so much, it's repeated so much, but like Steph's gravity is like it's such a huge thing, and
Literally half court.
like even if he's even if he's 2 steps slower, just the fact that he's on the court it opens up the Warriors' offense so much. Like ever since Steph got injured, Warriors games that should be good, like should be fun to watch, like Warriors against Spurs, even Warriors against Pacers yesterday, like
Got destroyed.
right, but
He
it's
had no
like,
passion.
the games just don't look good because the offense is non-existent without Curry.
Kerr's entire offense, the spacing,
It's based
is
off of
based on Curry.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
I mean,
Yeah,
it looks
he's the
better and
fire
better
dog.
leaving that Knicks team back in.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, seriously,
Like people are debating him as like, can he be in the debate for greatest coach of all time? Probably not.
no.
But people are thinking about it because of Steph.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about the debate, but
No.
Yeah.
Even as a Warrior fan, I'm going to pick Popovich.
he's a
But
great coach. That's
people-
for sure.
Think about it for a second. No one would think about it for a second if he was a Knicks coach.
yeah.
No,
Anyways.
that's for sure. That's for sure.
Well, that being
Um,
said, I agree with your point about the Warriors, or I agree that it's worrying, and there's cause for worry for the Warriors.
You'd still pick the Warriors, though.
Without Curry, I wouldn't.
Okay,
That's fair.
I pick the Jazz over the Warriors without Curry.
Yeah. But I mean, with Curry, and if he's a step slow, I think that the Warriors win in 6, maybe 7. I can see it going to 7, but I think they win in
If
6.
it's 7, I'm a bit more doubtful, but I think it's 6. I
Yeah.
think it's going to be 6.
How do you feel?
Rockets in 7.
Okay.
I'm picking the Rockets too.
Okay.
Warriors 6. Let's go.
I
We'll
think.
see.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna.
Be a
Obviously,
bet in a leader of Mountain
when
Dew.
when both Kevin Durant and Steph Curry come back healthy and just destroy everyone on their way to the conference finals, we're gonna look really stupid.
I'm sure.
No, but you
But
guys are
if they have like a step slow, I think I think it's the Rockets' years,
Yeah.
honestly. And then the Rockets have like a great matchup in the finals. Whoever they play, I think they're just gonna roll over them.
Or maybe it's the year of the underdog and the Jazz just
That is-
wipe
no.
everyone.
I'm actually more scared of the Jazz than the Rockets.
Jazz are scary, dude.
Yeah.
They're very scary.
I'd like to see that.
But the Timberwolves.
If
are
there's any
sneaky.
defense in the league right now that can lock us down, it's the Jazz defense.
Man, that Portland Golden State second rounder is just gonna be a shootout. That's just gonna be insane.
I'm down for
The
that.
Portland is definitely gonna lose that series though. That's a bad matchup for them.
They have a solid defense.
Hmm?
They have a solid defense.
Yeah, but like in the past 5 years, they just keep on losing to Golden State all the time.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
So there's no
That's like
chance
half the league, though.
Golden State gets
No,
knocked out
I know,
before,
but like
In the first round.
they have two
No.
undersized like
before the conference.
guards, right? That
There's
just do
possibility.
not match up well, both on offense and defense. I don't know. CJ McCollum is 6'3". Like,
He's a baller though.
what are you gonna do?
His
with
game
that?
is butter.
No, that's fair, but like,
But Klay Thompson,
yeah.
No, but
the original.
CJ's game is like butter. Like, oh man. All right, it's like.
It's super smooth. Yeah, I got you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop.
I want
I'm
Golden
like
State.
gushing.
No offense to Miguel, but I really want to see Golden State get knocked out before the conference finals.
I mean, that's what everyone said about Miami back when LeBron was on that team.
I just want to see if this is the year where it could possibly happen. It'd just be interesting to me.
I mean, the matchups.
I mean, if there's any year, it's right now because
Yeah.
everyone's injured.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing. That was like the thing at the beginning of the season. It's like Golden State's probably the favorite in the West, unless some of their players got injured. And now that some of their players are injured, the question is like, are they coming back to like 95% of what they are? Because otherwise, Golden State is definitely in trouble. Like regardless of, you can still pick them, but I'm saying like it's not going to be as easy as it was last year. When they were just like walking over everybody. Like this season, regardless of what happens, if like regardless of what team they play, if they don't all come back healthy, it's going to be like interesting at least, and possibly they can be upset.
Yeah.
Although if they play the Rockets, I guess it wouldn't be an upset. But yeah,
Hey, I think the Rockets have a harder path than the Warriors right now.
no, for sure. If the Rockets play the Utah in the second round, I think that's a bad matchup for them.
Oh man.
That's for sure.
That's gonna take a few games out of them. And
I like Utah and Portland to switch. I want Portland to play Houston in the second round. No, that's for sure. Utah is a bad matchup, and also because they've literally been the
they can still drop, right? Portland can still drop.
yeah, they're 2 games up.
Oh, Portland
On Utah.
Rockets games suck.
They'd have to.
no, that
Portland
is-
would have to basically just lose every game until the end of the season.
I take
think
that
they have
back.
3 games left.
The scoreboard. Sorry, I said
Yeah.
Portland Rockets games suck, but it's actually I just don't like the way the scoreboards look. Because the colors are the same.
Okay.
It's poor design.
Yeah.
For them to
It's a really
switch,
bad design.
Portland would have to lose all 3 games they have left,
like it's all
and
red.
Utah would have to win all 3 games they have left. Although I don't know who has a tiebreaker. But
Between who?
between Utah and Portland.
I wanna
Right
say
now,
Utah.
Portland is 48-31, and Utah is 46-33, and they both have 3 games left. Yeah,
We'll see.
so that can still happen
Mm-hmm.
until next week.
To tune in next week.
Yeah, I mean, we can just let's go over really quickly. MVP Harden.
James Harden.
Anyone
Yeah.
not okay with that? Okay.
DPOY.
Yeah, I mean, it's Harden's year, right?
Yeah.
Rookie of the year.
Simmons.
Donovan Mitchell. I don't think. All right, no, go ahead.
Lonzo Ball.
No, I'm of the
Kyle
belief
Kuzma.
that if a player has been on an NBA roster, even if they haven't played,
I agree with that. I think that's a stupid rule.
He's
that
had a year to
that he's being
practice
considered as a rookie. I think
and
that's dumb.
train
I mean, it's gonna be him, right? It's
Yeah,
gonna
it's
be
gonna
Ben
be him.
Simmons,
It's
but
gonna be
it
Simmons.
should really be Donovan Mitchell.
or Lonzo Ball. but-
Defensive player of the year.
Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma.
Oh God.
No,
Rudy
DPOY.
Gobert. No.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I feel like it's Gobert, but 'cause-
Gobert missed some games. That's the only problem. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, he's like anchoring the best defense in the league.
Yeah.
And I don't think it should
How
be
many
like a
games did he miss?
conversation.
I haven't watched a lot of
15, 20.
that's not that
He's
bad.
still legible, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean.
It was for me. It was Paul George until like about a month ago when
Yes.
he just like let go of everything.
Yeah.
And now I'm like so confident in my pick that Jimmy Butler is like a more like important player to a team than Paul George.
I agree now.
Because yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
After they blew up, I can't say.
No, Paul George
anything
is
anymore.
Paul George is like LA, here I come. You know,
6th man of the year.
it was Clarkson for me for in the beginning of the season. Now I don't even know.
It's
I mean, isn't he
Early in
still a
the
6 man?
Early in the season for me, it was Eric Gordon.
Oh yeah. But then
Yeah.
he started like 40 games, didn't he? Or
I
like
don't know if he's eligible.
He's had to.
yeah.
No, of course, but I don't know if
Because-
he's eligible for
Yeah.
the award.
Who-
Otherwise,
though?
I don't know.
It was Lou Williams too, right? 'Cause he
it was, but now he's starting.
Yeah, so it's like all the players who were who were like in contention kind of just are no longer in contention.
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh God.
Okay, man. All right. Well, I guess we can move on because we're not really.
Fred VanVleet.
Yeah. No, straight up, Van Vliet is
He'd
a
be a good
That
choice.
leads playing well.
good six-man.
You have most improved player that has to be Oladipo.
Oladipo.
right?
Oladipo.
And then coach of the year. That one's an interesting one.
D'Antoni?
No.
no
I think it has to be Stevens, but
Yeah.
Brad Stevens. Yes.
they're the second best team in the
Without-
Who's
East
the
without their
Raptors
two best
coach
players.
again?
Dwayne Casey.
Yeah.
Casey
What
does.
about him?
Casey with
Casey
honorable
could
mention.
win.
Honorable mention for Casey.
Quinn Snyder?
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Luke Walton.
No.
Yes.
Why
Nice
not?
try.
But Brad Stevens, without a doubt. I
Yeah.
think.
I think it's gonna be Stevens, but
Yeah.
hey, honestly, I'd be fine with like any of like Quinn Snyder or Dwayne Casey. I think
Mhm.
those two also deserve it.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anyone?
No,
I think that's it, right?
Eric Spoelstra, but
No, but like,
Spoelstra
am I
played his
forgetting
team
any
really well.
award?
no.
I'd say Pop is still always up there. Just they're not great. But
Yeah, but
like,
they've had too much drama. I think nobody's
Yeah.
gonna vote for him just because of that,
yeah.
because of everything that happened in San Antonio this year.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it. We're gonna be back next week with the playoff matchups, and yeah, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
See ya.
Bye.